say EU nationals nyina ne won ebusuafo a wonye EU nationals nyina o se wo apply ma EUSS ansa June Bosompem akona wieye afi 2021 yi mu se wanya ebe ha won kratasem a wo de ti UK se won to anamon we na wo apply EU settlement scheme and train last minute ansa ehun hia yie pa se wo bebotumi a wo de tena UK no ho ban na wo hia legal advice bi anso a pebi we koma EU ana EA amanfo nyina wo kra registration certificate ana permanent registration certificate ana ebusuafo ayama won residence cards ana permanent residence cards a ewo EA registration 2016 no mu se wonya ye we nyina na se wo sefata apply pre-settled ana settled status answer 30th June 2021 EU settlement scheme pre-settled status eba na wieye ewo 30th June 2021 na mum ehun me hia yie se obe apply no ntem na 𝗑𝗺𝗃𝗓 yie na hye so se we koma omo wo UK ansa 31st December 2020 a wo kura won krata esefata nyina edi won adanse se wendi immigration mrei so na wonni adanse die bia eche mretenti a watena UK se ana EU nationals no nso a eno so betimi ahawodaache se wo apply wo British citizenship BWF Solicitors ewo nimdie fa UK immigration law na omo aboa ebusuafo bebree wo applications a efa home offices EU settlement schemes no ho wonti bebree asia for BWF Solicitors ntempara ewo 020 849 37340 ana 077 127 61884
BWF Solicitors is a leading and an award-winning solicitor situated in London. Our expertise in family and matrimonial law encompasses divorce, separation, children matters, family breakdown, and financial orders. We focus on all aspects of immigration law. Our areas of expertise extends to visas for individuals and businesses. These include spouses, students, visitors, EU applications, investors, and more. We also undertake appeals and judicial reviews of...
It's here for me, my Obibia, a very good morning. And Good Friday. We be a solemn Friday. Na say Friday bia ye beka ya ye mremu a ye yaje nkwan Yesu Kristo ye so ni mu na ye born asembia enti no ene day no to some of us no ye memorial mayen a ye de kai na ye de dwendwen ye ho ye nhwe ni wuo no ade a ebeye mayen sanso na megidi se wo Yesu Kristo ho do a wonso saa na wo dwendwen ho se ni wuo no edien ene eye maawo enti ye kai no na ye beda na senso ye beda otwedi ampanse se ene dei wama ye nkwa wache ye nkwa wadom ye soronko na ode ahoden aka ho na yetutu anamon aba efidie ha ye de edwumedi a yato ni den se legal hour eye BWF Solicitors for any GN radio aka bomu a ifiada bia ye de ba ma kwan enenso montwen ben yen twebe efidie no se wonya link na bomoden na piapia ne tiko na share enkwa chichichichichichi enkankan ye nkromufo nyina omu betie yen anope mon share enko babia Nigerians all the African continent countries ne nyina mon share na ebebo mo yiyu abrabo yiyu ensemsem no yeda so ekrem yenwie yeda so ekrekremu enti yeda so krekremu de na kire se ekwan biara no insem ekoso nanso yehwe emretia we mu a ebetwa mu koyi a COVID anase COVID-19 anase coronavirus ebe butia ye mpreko pe na fitilasie sa March mu ene ma ye first lockdown na ene April na chese afi etwem a ye kika ekoyinim na eba ye no nso no COVID lockdown eba ye edwuma bebre na ye kika tu mu sebi ya ye ho ntwa papa no eya na eja ye kurekura nkrofo dadie mu ena ye di twitwa ye do ye di twa ye mfuo ye kurekura nkrofo edadie nkrantie ena ye di twitwa ye mfuo nanso eba ne saa no ye ho bechi ye papa enye ye nko a dodo nanso ebekokọ konniomemu bibia ye de ahye COVID-19 bibia ye de ahye COVID-19 yen kamfra why ye ma ye nyina ya akọ ewo COVID-19 na ene edwumedi e ba bedi no eni se ye hwe COVID-19 a chese senia aboye abro edi ye hwam ebimokran so de ebo omo papa nanso ne nyina emu no ye beka se yen hwe the impact of COVID-19 pandemic no ene ye immigration sem no yen kambom ni yen hwe because ye komo a ye behu se ye koye yen renewal ye si COVID-19 no interview yen ko ye ko boy ensa no a ye se montwen ufa ha ye se atum o deadline abeso obi kura otwa deadline no because office ni bebre atutu mu ohun ni obeye na deadline na beto no obi wo ha chese insem ni bebre na chese COVID-19 no ebe ye isintidue bi ewo yen so pa nanso no yen hwe ebe ne ewehi into potomo because the impact of COVID-19 pandemic no any immigration sem no yen hwe say na ekoye obi wo ho a nsem no chese mekasa mekama we na chese meji lawyer edwuma ayo enti no yen semre mesremo yenko kwan so yenko sisia obi wo ho a na COVID-19 mu obehu nisika odwodwuma onya no enti nisika kra tosin okoye renewal onya sika ena meka problems na moamunim edoso yi enti ene no ye behwe ne nkakran ni a chirechire mu ye chire mu nso a kwan a ye befa so a ye be hiha ye ho be hiha yen ene impact a ede eba yen so yi enti mesremo monshare program no monshare na enkwechi na yehu kwan a ye befa so a yehu besinsan yen kwan a ye befa so a neoma betuto yie kwan a ye befa so a COVID-19 abo ahye yen ye befa so na yehu esane yen enti medamasi mesa echechia mu biom wo baabi a wi abo na de good afternoon enwumre nso na good evening no pai de ye say good morning medamu nyina si na mesama mu good Friday greetings nso yo yes emre good morning lawyer Francis.
Yeah, good morning Manye T. Oapome
adomo nkoa o papa me ho ye pa na mpacho mo nso
Nyame adom ne mo mpaebo and happy good Friday Emma yes listeners ne yeah omo share on Facebook and Manye T so e be come out why
sini ebeka say good Friday official pa na
afin comment
yeah dwendwen ho sa na e be de enye happy mame because it's time for me to reflect na me hu baby am gina yie
I don't say no say yeah Jim kwa yeah share religion side omo yeah Christians you know this is the time we are going through hard times. Say our beloved Jesus Christ ebewu aje for our sins. Inti the American say this is to wash our sins and come out as a flesh body to represent and make sure we be in the Holy Spirit. So where you go through Easter procedure, Easter amamra ye go through ni say Nyankopon suma ne doba Yesu say omewu enje enkwa ye boni nti Easter season is starting free and the Friday up to Sunday nti ene ye wo sena manye tea kai no enye happy all the same no nti but enam bibi so nti na ama na basa anye boni anka we nyina emma nti yes reflect on sa Easter season na ye a change and a reform to ourselves for a betterment and the ways ahead of us. Why?
Yo, La Francis, that's it. We dey anope mama ada na so 4x4. Nenye. Yo, emre ni ho. Yabo 9:43 ye keka call. Lawyer Francis. Ansana mebisa o update no. Okay, we dey kan chichi tie for nti ye bebisa ye bia update bi wo ho na afei memfa ene topic membisa na ye nkoso. Patwa update bi wo ho ana.
Yo, me da say update for on ma prepare towards another program no. Okay. It been say just 31st of March and the 1st of April and right Home Office reform kakra about a new bebre. It been say because share mami Pretty Patella although fight it towards hard say bema coronavirus about from now even ye two and see a cry in such a way say the person your normal life ne person back to no etimia back because at the moment the government need targeted by June 2021 or person ordin your man say obey restrictions or there to nya obey lift no na ya buy a normal life because say our day vaccination ne buy no mo feel say the impact a great solve the issue of coronavirus. Inti aside or mama who say yembo modia yembo yahubai in terms of your meeting places ne coronavirus issues pandemic Inti the omudi ba the American say this week in his chair say almost still like chair say that's all restrictions anymore but more easy be the tiane say almost the declaration be aba say utukwaya, you have to give a reason. Inti reasons na meba bebo bobo so no. Ebini say was say a juma. Ebini say bia wanya voluntary work na juma na was say we show evidence. Ultimate fa wa no ke ye stop wa o say me kwa juma we ni ade there be police officer enforcement agencies for they have the right to ask you say Debe ne chese also koye juma o baby. Until you have to all the time carry along or ID and I say we juma mo letter ni de asifo e wo ho. Ene bio mu so no de sa to so ne say o say o chese e bia o education o course school and na asifo. Until no putoka sem de be ka che ne say exception to restrictions And anya no nko usa hwemu a osi ebia wo medical conditions bi nti wo kwa bonti akotreat wo ni nasefo eno nso ya another part eno ema ho kwan chese untimi ema ho kwan ma utimi ekwa bonti without say we break the rules of restrictions and ebio so almost say why they need civil partnership but no it needs evidence it been saying letter invitation and others. When na ye kika no bibia ube use as exception it was say o share evidence with it and a bio so no say funeral arrangement be wo call funeral and so on no you need to show evidence inti e hwema de obeso mo kira ne say bibia wo ye bia o pese o ka say sa de nti mean to me abide by the restrictions in terms of coronavirus inti me ko akoye we me koye aduma me koye we me ko medical say law enforcement in stop power wo na say wo che die nti a wontimi any restrictions under coronavirus by showing evidences You find say call for medical treatment. I will say we chair say when your appointment, we let a chair say appointment any. Inti maneti dey me dey be ma update ni say you careful about say you feel say coronavirus no ya lifty be until we can make and I say go our own way. Emraye adwuma wo krom ha no mo. Inti say wo ko upie fie na wo ko na fo say enye one of the exceptions na you're careful. Make sure say even men kokra ama yen ko stop embusa questions because you see a fine wa ye chiwa
5,000.
Me ba so say
5,000.
yes. Fine wo honu ma I will say wutia. A brand so anka wo di mra so anka unkofa sa aka we nyina ama. Ene biom so another update aba me feel say home office and ya bre wo hu papa. In terms of EU documentation, you know, Oma me anya intiasie say after June 2021, no, omu ni extension bia biomayen. Inti on that basis, you know, ukda sukuta who old permanent residents resident card na say for now unye EU settlement scheme ni bia. Me pa ucho sre wo say I was say utu anamon now koye before 30th June 2021 no adru because the rate at which home office any abre was added no a man for even anticipating say ye kai emrebi Jamaicans issue when rush na almost say one share be more than that a man for assessment or mudi abano no inti yesre ye nuanu ma omunye EU settlement scheme ni say e was say omutu ho anamo animanimo ya say ne be ya ye nim de da ye nima home office action on beteki because almost say at least you have to give a reasonable ground. Now reasonable ground no almost say dan pepe mu me hu ni ye it is up to us to make sure say umpe ho asema now ye EU ni abusua ukuta resident card ukuta resident permanent All-Star Regulation 2016 now. The year and I say upese utina krom ha no more after June 2021 now. I was say ukoye EU settlement scheme application ni bi.
Okay, Gio Lawyer Francis. Yeda se hono ye won sem bebrebe bisa nanso no ye betwi asan sana ye main education ni wia na afedie na ye di eno atoso enti no like we've always explained when it comes to the main topic we would like to speak English for the benefit of other countries. So Lawyer Francis we'll divert from the tree to the English language now.
Yeah.
Today we've chosen the topic the impact of COVID-19 and the immigration appeals. So to be specifically, we are talking about appeals, and we know appeals is got to do have something to do with whether I would say tribunals and stuff like that. So yeah. Can we go on? Can you give us this a little bit of explanation on how the impact of COVID-19 got to do on this particular immigration appeal?
Yeah, thank you very much, MANYE T. And for our listeners, we're trying to put our topic in the Queen's language in order for those other native countries who doesn't understand our Ghanaian language can pick something out of it. Our main topic for this morning is about the impact of coronavirus pandemic on immigration appeals. As such, this pandemic being as far as March 2020 enables the court has to come out with something we call a reform towards how the hearings in the court should proceed. But as far as we are aware, let me talk us through what is appeal, what makes something an appeal, or how can you lodge your appeal, and what's the procedure to go as far as what the court has arranged in terms of if you are supposed to attend your court hearing. So whenever we talk about appeal, it entails you've made an application and they've refused you. And bear in mind, we have going to look at not all applications or not all refusals have right of appeal. So basically, if you're doing your application and your application falls on international protection claim, you are entitled to appeal.
Okay.
Also, if your application falls under revocation of refugee status, or humanitarian protection, your appeal, you have right of appeal.
Okay.
And the other one is where is a decision on EU settlement scheme and or regulation 2016, you also have a right of appeal. And lastly, what we always know about is a human rights claim. If you're doing an application on the basis of human rights claim, you are entitled to right of appeal to an extent, because human rights claim can be certified by Home Office. When it's being certified by Home Office, you are not entitled unless you go out of country to do that. Okay. So this is what we have to be bear in mind and careful about these things. Okay, let's look at the reason or what brought about these immigration appeals. So when these things, those who are appealed are entitled, when these claims, you make an application under the human rights, under EU, humanitarian protection, refugee, and your application has been refused by Home Office, and they've granted you something we call right of appeal, you have to prepare your grounds in such a way to lodge your appeal.
Okay.
So in this case, the first thing you have to do is, fine, if you receive the refusal decision, first look at it whether you are entitled to right of appeal or not. So this right of appeal, if you are entitled to it, you need to prepare towards that appeal lodging. And before you do that, you have to come out with your grounds of appeal. Grounds of appeal talks about a situation whereby you think the decision of the Home Office is not in accordance with the law. So you will look at it and see that, fine, what the Home Office have refused me on that basis, I can see they've got the law wrong. So on that basis, this is the reason why I'm challenging or I'm lodging my appeal to the court to have a look at it. So in this case, when you lodge your appeal, it's two things. Lodging the appeal is whereby whether you need a paper appeal or you need oral appeal.
Okay.
Paper appeal is a situation whereby you prepare your papers and you send to the court, and the court will give it to a judge. The judge will have a look at it and make a decision out of it. But when we come to oral appeal, what it entails is when you lodge your grounds of appeal, the judge, it will go to court, and the court will have a look at it and send a copy to your opponent. In this case, when we come to the immigration section, our opponent is the Home Office. So the court will send your grounds of appeal to the Home Office and give them another opportunity to say that your opponent, being the appellant, has lodged an appeal and is basing on these grounds that your refusal letter does not address or does not make it in accordance with the law. So as such, have a look at my grounds of appeal. So the Home Office will send it to their legal team, being HOPO, we call it HOPO, Home Office Presenting Officers Unit, those who deal with their legal bits in the Home Office. They also review the appellant's grounds of appeal.
Okay.
And have a look at it, whether what the appellant is saying is right or wrong, on the basis that their caseworker, did he or she had it right or not. So as such, when they realize what you, the appellant, are saying makes sense, or to them, you've got the law right, they will review it, and if there is a need for them to dissent their decision, in this case, they wouldn't go further to the court. They will write to the court that we have a look at the appellant's grounds of appeal and realize at least it meets the law. So as such, we no more going to the court. So we have withdrawn the case. So in this case, Home Office have accepted someone who say a defeat. If that's the right, it won't go further to the court again, and they will issue the appropriate decision to the appellant. On the other hand, whereby Home Office realize that, no, we keep standing on where the caseworker make that decision that it doesn't meet the criteria. So as such, your refusal letter. If they go by that way, they'll write back to the court and say, no, we still stand by our decision. So as such, you can go ahead and come out with your directions and the notice of hearing. So they will respond back to the court. When the court hold it up, the court will say, okay, back to the appellant. I can see the Home Office want us to go ahead with the hearing. So as such, looking at your case, we're going to have a look at it, whether we are going to come out with something we call a case management review or not.
Okay.
So that's where they set up something we call directions. The court directions. So this is whereby the court will come out and say, listen, Home Office, prepare your bundles. Appellant, prepare your skeleton argument and your bundles. So in this case, you, the appellant, let's come back, let's pick them one after the other. The appellant and the respondent. When I'm talking about the appellant, it's a term we use for the person who is lodging the appeal.
Okay.
And the respondent is the Home Office. So when we talk about appellant here, the Home Office, the court will give a direction and say, listen, appellant, prepare your skeleton argument and your bundles for our case management. And the same thing they will ask the Home Office, being the respondent, that they also have to pay their bundles. So in this case, they will set a date for a case management review.
Okay. And
the case management review will prepare towards the substantive hearing, being the final hearing. So in this case, they will look at it and see whether they are all prepared for the hearing. Case management review, on the other hand, is a pre-trial hearing.
Okay.
Because they want to make sure that both parties are ready for the substantive hearing.
Okay.
So in this case, your documents, everything in support of your appeal has to be ready, including your witnesses, including your representatives, to make sure that everything is ready in order for them to set a timetable for the final hearing.
Okay.
Yeah. So when everything is done and both parties have agreed on that and they've prepared and abide by the directions procedure, the court will come out with a notice of hearing.
Okay.
So notice of hearing, what I want us to chip in here is what has the coronavirus impact changed everything now?
Right.
Because when we look at it, before the coronavirus season, being March 2020, there has been our normal routine, like the ones I've explained, for them to fix, and there is a hearing, and they will go there face to face, meet the judge, discuss or argue, litigate about the refusal, and if the judge is happy about it and realize the appellant is in the right position, they will issue the appellant, they will allow the appellant's appeal. If they realize Home Office is also in the right position, they will dismiss the appellant's appeal. So in this case, this is the normal thing we were going through as an appeal before the coronavirus stepped in,
right?
Being the March 2020. So let's come out. As such, the president of the first-tier tribunal came out with a statement regarding the issue of coronavirus.
Right.
As such, they look at the public health situation, that is it feasible for both parties have to come and have face-to-face hearing or not? Because our traditional hearing was on the face-to-face hearing. But because of the coronavirus situation, things have changed in such a way that we can make no longer the face-to-face hearing.
It's true.
On exceptional issue whereby they can do it, but it should be the coronavirus protocols in place before you can do that. So as such, they came in with how they're going to handle this coronavirus alongside a hearing. So what they decide is they developed something we call a hybrid hearing. Hybrid hearing is a situation whereby, because of the coronavirus situation, not all the parties, being the respondent, appellant, can go to court. So on that basis, the court came out and said, okay, we might need one party to be at the court.
At the court, yes.
So in this case, they will come out with a reason, both the respondent and the appellant. Am I the appellant? Appellant will decide, I want to go. Then respondent will say, okay, I'll stay behind. Or respondent will say, I will go. And then the appellant will say, I'll stay behind.
Okay.
So this is whereby the coronavirus changed the procedure or the hearing situation at court.
Okay, that's the face-to-face. No more face-to-face.
Yes.
Okay.
Face-to-face is hiding behind it, but they've reformed it.
Yes.
Yeah, if I may say it that way, they reform it because the hybrid one is on the other hand is some sort of a face-to-face, but it's limiting people, the number of people at the court.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other one which they introduced and they are using it more often is remote hearing.
Hearing, okay.
Yeah, because the remote hearing is a situation whereby all the parties will be at their various places, not to come to court.
Yes.
And they will be doing either video hearing or telephone hearing.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. So on that basis, they introduced all this technology in such a way that we can say coronavirus has stay us back. So as such, we won't go to court and wait till coronavirus is over before we start our court hearing.
Okay.
Impossible. They have to develop a way of dealing with appeal situations. And these are the technology they brought into by amending the first-tier tribunal procedure amendment 2014. So in order for them to make sure that no one is being affected by coronavirus, these are the things they put in measures or in places in such a way that as long as you've got appeal going on, at least it's their duty to make sure that they get your hearing heard in either of the modes of hearing, being hybrid hearing or remote hearing. But they've also amended their procedural rules in such a way that it's not all cases that needs to be heard at court. In such a way, if the case is urgent, they can decide without letting court hearing comes in.
At all. Okay.
That's it. On the other hand, it's also because of the interest of justice. They have to make a decision. They will go ahead and do it.
Make a decision.
Yes, under Rule 4A. That's the new amendment they put in. So as such, we can see that the court procedure, as we know or we used to know, have a little bit of reform. And they've used this from beginning of January 2021 to June 2021. This is the procedure they are going to use for now. Okay. So if the coronavirus is finally lifted in terms of the restrictions, they will come out with what the court wants to do the next 6 months ahead from June to December, and we will see what another new method of hearing coming out.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hey, in other words, we will say you don't have any excuse anymore, because the court has put a whole lot of things in place for your hearing. So if you have a chance that your situation with immigration, you have a chance to appeal, you don't have to wait. All these things that the lawyer is saying, in case, you know, it's not everybody who is inclined with the terms, law terms or legal terms. So in this case, all I will say or I recommend for you to do, in case you have a result or a letter or anything at all from the Home Office refusing your application or whatever it is, and they've given you a chance to appeal, please better go and see a law firm or good solicitors that can go through this process or this appeal process with you. And the only place I will recommend now and forever is BWF Solicitors. Go and see them, and they can take you through all these things that the lawyer is explaining, and you can have your appeal successfully, and hearing probably you get a good results. Yo, it's here for you bet change ya no sisia baby aye do no nature say about don't do apahu sima do papa na yeguso aye ko aha ye GN radio legal hour, and yeni lawyer Contingency lawyer Papebi lawyer Samunim law ni mo mra mra no fiti shase kodi ewie nyina omo ye ade wo ho eye BWF Solicitors omo na yeni omo ewo ha sisi bre ha ye di dwuma na mesrew nsema lawyer Francis abeka kire yen no embia na wonso immigration nsem no ewe ududo mo ewe ukuko mo embi kura na mfa appeal ho embia na mfa COVID-19 pandemic ho ne nyina enye hwe utumi eba ebebisa wonsem mehu se obi edi kan frɛ wo na ma no ende with 5582 mesrew na san frɛ biom na besan frɛ biom na mafa wo call no no mesa edidi dwuma no enoa ensisaye nanka mpese mbisa lawyer ansam kakraba I think say yemre no ekọ intima mombohu mutume de mode ne ba 0203-735-8820 anase 0203-286-0185 misremo adofo amowo Facebook so nyame nhyiramo se munyina maba classmates nyina Antidocas Adom nana agimai Sophia Joy nana agimai eche amonyina Emmanuel Phillips eche say adofo amowo so nyina ye nyame nhyira mo monkoso enhye na mon like page no mon like nso na chese enkwa chichichichichi enti yenya yen first caller na wonama end 5582 mpacho ye fra wo sen na o kase free
mpacho ye frame me Razak me please
Papa Razak chia lawyer Francis na bisa wasem
lawyer Francis mpacho me chia good morning.
Yeah, good morning Razak wa pomo
mpacho me ya pa osu
nyame adom
mpacho me case ni yeah very tedious kakra me worry 2013 but me worry EU ni mo refuse me until later no me san worry in 2020 and I had it tomb, but the edit tomb we no, not knowing the girl I may worry no, while worry that why you divorce. Until me who say why is I then and I withdraw application. Until see I withdraw application for almost about 11 months. Until see and say me EU near met my worry, say me worry may divorce and because it's just a may divorce papers in me divorce family or first divorce no after 6 years so person be say there me and 6 years no because you send application you withdraw and say me say divorce be man the question and person be sanon.
Yeah, Razak, medase. Razak, who honomo?
I'm pastor mo honum.
First, our year in 2013. Who divorced here now?
I mean, yes, I divorced. The divorce letter no.
Oh, okay. Into recent application now year 2020 no. You know now on divorce here.
EU not knowing that on 2 years 2011, but one divorce. Me so me name one can't try me until later no na ye hu ye.
Yeah, no question on no say more withdraw application because definitely in home office back or hwehwe na kira kwan obahwehwe ni nkrata mu ahu say waware pen na no omo dey refuse aka say when divorce in wasaba be worry in this case no be ye bibia obe committee bibia friend bigamy UK embramu into the mekacho ni say it's good say we withdraw na wo ka say when you be EU ni sesi a obetumi a the tier ni say EU ni na wanya no oti krom hadada before 31st December 2020 na mo betumi a worry making sure say by June 2021 no na application ni demu dada. Because in this case, 1 year, or be a friend said grace period, say, It is a 1 year, sir, they don't a palm me. Why?
Okay. In Messiah divorce, divorce, second one, on 1% maybe, sir.
Yo, say, yes, second one, on any year, there. I was saying, so ye divorce, Nibi. Why?
Into divorce, no, no.
I am from and no to be worried. The next day, no, I could see the door for because all the other so say, why worry? Was I going to the kind?
Me too, but the problem is almost letter application home according to the information I mean and almost a case worker no when Timam fa a case in sad way no crano. Yet me yeah divorce. Me use sad divorce letter back on.
Share Mammy church or muye. Say case worker the okoton in send one different case worker but bet me a coffee in your mom. Now watch you. And a case workers no only na back who saw handle on case.
Okay.
Your case workers be bro dealing with. Say be a case worker ya warrior 2020 day na one share udie na case worker be oba koso wo another application mono ono de obetimi afi na ni akohwehwe saa ne omanumu nti say ofu say nya de oni ne be 2020 na e wo say wo divorce wo de no ansana wasa ware foforo de aye why
okay. So I me present a application. I me present divorce certificate. Me no.
Over presented the last one. No. Why?
Okay. And your first one.
Last one. Yeah, we try to work no now be present. Say first one the way jaro na sem into work or the front. No can't across first one. No. Into jai ni chire die now the no certificate no aka application no. But the one what you say?
Matias.
Yes, that's papa. Yo, yeah, that's it. Yo, I hire GN radio. Pacho, obi a wa maso kafra. We gina swat. Efra say na o kasa friend.
Pacho, me de ajoa.
Yo, man, Pacho cha la Francis bisa wasa.
Francis morning. Pacho pomboko de.
Morning, Nyamiadum. Monso, I want to man.
Yes, Adum. Yes, you but why even answer my drink a crap? On the now, Cassana, if it's residence permit, no. What a year EU settlement scheme, no. Yeah, apply online, no. My year, but my thing to say, I just say, also apply for card. Now, more the card, then, bro, I trust so EU settlement scheme. Indefinite leave to remain. And so, me pinchremuga krasa, even though my application online last year, I wasn't a apply for card now, more cano ana.
Yo, me pato, mami musa, who ye EU near and as a EU family member?
Me a family member.
Good. Okay. Yo, dear Tiani said, Omo di EU settlement scheme nearby, you know. Omo ka say because ye free EU, you know. Say EU ni na busia obi o depend on EU. So not just after Brexit, you know, upese utina UK ha as ukuro a. E was say we EU settlement scheme nibi. Enti say ye ma resident card under Regulation 2016 before say you be free EU no more. When I say was a card no now they call EU settlement scheme no. And I thank God also why you would here. But because we are EU family member no, o card no say who here.
Bachelor Debbie.
Yeah, two options. And we are ube to me a train. I'm an no as I apply for new one. And now say obe to be aka say me sa card no me pese me kuta bio. Me pese me di decision the old decision paper so no eba card so. Because the reason being is enye mandatory, let alone say a compulsory.
Okay.
Then tell more can is say hey bia wajumemfo no omonte sa policy we say no mo ba be how what the people they control more mega say no me person me who say what card so
okay
and now say e bia u tu kwan oba or border so now what the people they card no u tell ya definitely I say home office name policy no now fe number be how number delay mama check say am pa no check no gina bibi so no be sound question be ufu say ukuta card na nka ohwe ya na wotwam inti ya na ye ka say ufu say we EU family member dependent now what o card be under regulation 2016 now no one decision from EU settlement scheme with the paper now bibi ansi wu kwan say obetimi asesa e dia card for so
okay.
Aya hon Matias you nanso ene na nwemu bebre ama ehu abonkrofo because senia wo kire no se ba ne se wontu kwan dia ene nka obetumi atwen expire no akọ renew but se obetu kwan pa to avoid because minim se ja dodo na yede dade bi kotwa dade bi na enyinya nya sa card no enti se wontu kwan ne afa ne bebise bisa wo nsam na ye bisa wa ase ne we no wanhwa na akode abutu ena enameno sonso no yenya mehu nkrofo bebre afre a omo face sa problem ni sisi a omo ho chire omo na chese ye revoke kra nkrofo nkrata ne ade enti no nka wo advice no ebe ye se nka wo say ubetu kwan de akoye foforo no to save you from this harassment ana lawyer.
Yes Manye T and no because who say make us enye mandatory let alone say a compulsory say we but to avoid that situation now okay cano say me too kwan me the people natural but almost no omonti ase majuma class so say omonti ase into the best you say many wa and can make people so there no akọ card so
okay yo mami adwan pacha wenya ntiase wo ho oh what they are to so yo Or they are too so sorry. Me did say oti yo ain't no say still unya mwa any year. Oh, who can wait to me after 020373588820 and I say 020328600185. Yeah, WhatsApp lines me no senior money mono. Ube to me the WhatsApp message in so about 077-879-39958. Me sambo bosu bium 077-879-39958. Now, obetumi nso de afre 075-966-20-154. Obetumi nso afre so na we bisa wonsam no. Aha GN Radio Legal Hour. Lawyer Obi ka say sa card yes, in fact, I issue, let me say, is the trending issue in town now. Ofa baby and I see you cat no but oh that now cause once the sound to me yes say to me which is true, but Crawford still and Crawford you say near me crano enwu ye nti enwu ye na ede na me call ye foforo wo ne nyina nso akoye sika se menye free. And lawyer, senior would can advise any compulsory, any mandatory, but in a nutshell, no, because of some of the companies omonti rana sipapa and even to kwayan kasan so immigration officers na gate na no nyina dodo na I can say 90% na omonti omogina ho keke so omo check ohun say ye blue na ade ne say ye blue na omo atwem say ye blue na ade ne say ye green na afi na obebe bisa o adenti obi kra yetumi bisa no adenti na okita sa paper no na afi ohun question na answer na akoba ne say ye be detain no na ni tira anye ye na afi kotututu insama yesiesie dada kotututu omo ase na afi wo na ohun akwa no enchi lawyer Francis say akoba ne say sa card no okwa akoya simple way no kwan be na so ofa so na o de koye o say o frɛ home office na say o letter na okita no application bi wo ha so fill na ka trom say say o pesa card no ana say eno ani biometric card na
eno ani biometric card but mami cheche mu kakra
okay
there tie ni say why o card no old start being regulation 2016 no ne amount bibia ya so permanent resident card. In this case, you know.
Say, lawyer Mpacho, hold on. Permanent resident card. Say no na ya de bo o passport ni mo. Ya de bo o passport ni mo. So
yeah, ebi no mo de bo passport mo. And ebi so na ya issue ma as a card.
Sorry, my light ni call off na me okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yo, ebi mo na ye the ball passport no a friend of 𝗑𝗃𝗏. And ebi so na issue card ma. Tama biometric card by I think say roughly about and che bi anti no ma started the ade ne card so. In this case, you know, so why EU settlement scheme application ni bia. Now pesa odi paper de no card so o card now kutano obey application of transfer of biometric card to EU biometric card.
Okay.
And in this case, you know, and no an application a different thing altogether.
Right.
It will be called online www.brp/transfer of card. O boss adina ebe ya ma no follow application na etwa no because the TN say I don't know why a home office omo yes adino se nipa no feel say o pe card can you settlement na kama issue card amano but o meka cho say uni bia o obi dada omo mreo foforo. In this case, you know, sana o ka say employers UK border ne immigration officers omukra no munim de ade say the city no pam no cha no se won pese obenya that difficulty a unya